Dear students, welcome back to our first unit with Imar. Last time we read the text at different class. قرأنا مع بعض النص a different class about Mrs. Hanan al-Hurub. And today we are going to answer the questions. واليوم رح نحل الأسئلة عن النص مع بعض. Let's move on together to page number 8. Page 8. And exercise A, answer the questions. Answer the following questions. Question number 1. Question number 1. What are Mrs. al-Hurub's teaching tools? What are Mrs. al-Hurub's teaching tools? Tools. أدوات تدريس. Teaching tools for Mrs. al-Hurub. What are Mrs. al-Hurub teaching tools? ما هي أدوات تدريس التي كانت تستخدمها Mrs. al-Hurub? Mrs. al-Hurub employed or employs some teaching tools. Let's see together. Okay. So, teaching tools for Mrs. al-Hurub, she says. Okay. Right, good. Yes, in addition to toys and balloons, of course, she pays herself, her own money. She uses videos and even PowerPoint in the classroom. She also uses balloons. She uses hula hoops, toy cars, and puppets to explain her lesson. We can simply say Mrs. al-Hurub employ or uses balloons, hula hoops, toy cars, and puppets. Okay, we can say she uses or she employs balloons, hula hoops, and toy cars. Remember, toy cars means not real. Toy cars and puppets. Puppets. دمى أيضا كانت تستخدم puppets. Okay. Now, question number 2. How do parents, father and mother, usually react? How do parents usually react to Mrs. al-Hurub's method? كيف كان الأبوين react ردة فعلهم to Mrs. al-Hurub's method, to her way, her style? Let's go and check together. Do you remember? How do parents react? Have a look. Parents often refuse, they reject, remember? They reject the focus on a play, but soon it changes. Okay? So we can say, first they reject. Sorry. Reject. Then they change their mind. They change their mind. Okay. Let's go to question number 3. Question number 3. What are Mrs. Al-Horoub's future plans? What are Mrs. Al-Horoub's future plans? خططها المستقبلية. Future plans. What are Mrs. Al-Horoub's future plans? Let's have a look again. You see in the text, future plans, Mrs. Al-Horoub plans to establish her own foundation and use some of her winnings. Why? To train other teachers to follow her approach, to follow her style, to follow her way. So what are Mrs. Al-Horoub's future plans? Establish her foundation. Let's delete this one. Okay, establish her foundation. Remember foundation, تؤسس أو تبني مؤسسة خاصة بها and train teachers. Remember train, تدرب المدرسين, to follow her approach. Okay, the last question number 4. What do you think of Mrs. Al-Horoub's way of teaching? What do you think of Mrs. Al-Horoub's way of teaching? What do you think? يعني ما رأيك بMrs. Al-Horoub's way of teaching? طريقة Mrs. Al-Horoub. What do you think? Your opinion. رأيك. You can say, for example, I like it. Sorry. You can say, I like it. You can say, it's nice. You can say, it's creative. Remember creativity? It's creative. طريقة خلاقة مبدعة. It's creative. Okay, let's move on to B. Decide if the following statements are true or false. Decide if the following statements mean sentences. الجمل التالية, العبارات التالية, true or false. True or false. Decide, قرر if the following statements are true or false. If false, correct the false ones. وبدنا نصحح مع بعض false sentences. Okay, number 1. Mrs. Al-Horoub has always wanted to become a teacher. Mrs. Al-Horoub has always, she always wanted, أرادت to become a teacher. أن تكون teacher. Is this correct? Let's go and check together. Remember? It's worth mentioning that Mrs. Al-Horoub's dream was to be a doctor. She wanted to be a doctor, not a teacher. So, this is simply false. She wanted to be a doctor. She wanted to be a doctor. Okay, how about number 2? She teaches in a secondary school. She teaches in a secondary school. She teaches in a secondary school. You know secondary school? Secondary school, or you can say high school. مدرسة ثانوية. She teaches in a secondary school. Is this correct? Let's go and look. Go to the text and have a look. So, look, they say kids don't realize they are learning, and 8-year-old pupils, 8-year-old pupils. So this is not secondary. Just 8-year-old, this means this one is false. This is elementary school. This is elementary school. Okay, let's move to question number 3. Mrs. Al-Harub's school provides her with all the materials. Her school provides. Her school gives her. يعني المدرسة هي كانت عم تزودها with all the materials, all the tools. Materials, tools. Is this correct? Remember? Let's go back and have a look. They say here, she pays with her own money. She pays with her own money. كانت عم تدفع من مالها الخاص. She pays with her own money. So again, this one is false. She pays, or she paid with her own money. Okay. How about the last one, number 4? She successfully deals with the troubled kids. She deals with the troubled kids. She successfully deals with. تتعامل بنجاح with troubled kids. مع الأولاد الذين لديهم اضطرابات. This is true. Remember? This is completely true. Look. So she was successful, especially in troubled kids. Okay, let's move on to vocabulary. Vocabulary exercise. They say here, complete the following statements with words from the text. We need to use words from the text. راح استخدم كلمات من النص لإتمام الجمل التالية. Number 1. The teacher began to the students for their excellent work. The teacher began to the students for their excellent work. The teacher started to the students for their good work. Okay, good. The teacher began to praise praise يعني يثني على، بدأ بالثناء ومديح الطلاب for their excellent work. Okay, how about number 2? An act of caused the window to be broken. Caused the window to be broken. ما الذي تسبب بكسر النافذة؟ An act of, yes, violence, you are right. An act of violence caused the window to be broken. Number 3, the artist had to a hammer to open his paint cans. The artist had to a hammer مطرقة to open his paint cans. كان العلبة المعدنية. طبعا انتم تعرفون هذه الكلمة بمعنى كان بمعنى يستطيع. كان أيضا تأتي بمعنى العلبة المعدنية. Paint cans علب الطلاء. So the artist had to thank you very much. Had to employ or use a hammer to open his paint cans. Number 4, she was wearing a splendid. كانت ترتدي splendid, very nice, very beautiful. Okay, good. Clothes, or the new word, outfit. She was wearing a splendid outfit. And the last one, number 5, his against cancer lasted for 2 years. Cancer مرض السرطان. Lasted استمر for 2 years. His, okay, good. His struggle against cancer lasted for 2 years. If you look at these words, إذا بتطلع على دول الكلمات اللي استخدمناهن, these words are from the text. هن دول الكلمات من النص, وهن the key words, الكلمات المفتاحية, the key words, praise, employ, outfit, struggle, and violence. Those are the key words, الكلمات المفتاحية في النص. إذا بنرجع بنشرح الكلمات المفتاحية, key words طبعا حفظناهم إن شاء الله. Key words, committee, a group of people chosen to make decisions. A group of people, committee هي اللجنة. A group of people chosen, مجموعة من الناس اختيرت to make decisions. لاحظ استخدمنا make لصنع القرار, صنع قرارات. make a decision. وإذا تنتبهوا قبل شوي استخدمنا make a difference, make decisions. Okay, praise to express approval. Praise يثني, يطري على, يمدح. To express approval, استحسان, love, or admiration, الإعجاب for something. Employ, use. To make use of something. And outfit, that is a set of clothes that you wear together. نرتديهم مع بعض. That is the outfit. Struggle, something that is difficult, not easy, difficult for you to do or achieve. تنجزه. Struggle يعني بحاجة إلى كفاح. Violence, the use of physical force هي القوة الفيزيولوجية, القوة البدنية. To harm someone, لإيذاء شخص ما. That is violence. هذا العنف. Okay, these keywords are the same words we used here in this exercise, if you notice. Okay, finally, I recommend, I advise you, بنصحكم ترجعوا للkeywords تحفظون تماما، نحفظهم قراءة, pronunciation, لفظ, and spelling, كتابة. And that's all for today. Thank you very much.